Joining us here in Washington, Maryland, Governor Larry Hogan. Governor, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Good morning.
You know, you just heard that conversation, and you were seeing COVID spikes in Maryland. Are you considering major changes, another lockdown possibly?
No. Look, we are concerned about the rising cases. We've got hospitalizations up about 150% over the past 2 weeks, and we're taking steps to try to, provide more support for our hospitals, and we're putting more into testing. We're pushing monoclonal antibodies, and we're trying to do everything we can to get the last 9.2% of our population vaccinated. We're encouraging boosters, but we're not anticipating any lockdowns at all. We're not considering that.
What's the stat that you look at? You've got hospital officials saying that 93% of hospital beds across your state are full. It's not, COVID's not the dominant condition there, but it's still affecting things. What do you look at? I mean, people are looking at cases. Do you look at hospitalizations?
The main thing that we have focused on, Brett, from the very beginning for nearly two years now has been hospitalizations and deaths. That's really what we're trying to, it's not just about case rates and positivity rate. It's about hospitalization, keeping people safe. That's our main jobs as governors. And so our hospitalization, you're right, our hospitals are fairly full with other things, but that extra 10 to 15% of COVID cases loaded on top of it is what's helping cause some of the problems that we're having with shortages in some of our hospitals, and we're working to address that. Honestly, we're pretty concerned about this Omicron variant, in that even though it seems to be less virulent and less dangerous, it's like 4 times more contagious. So, the percentages we're still seeing, I would say in the next couple of days, Omicron is going to be the dominant variant in our state. And we are anticipating over the next 3 to 5 weeks probably the worst surge we've seen in our hospitals throughout the entire crisis. But we don't expect it to last for long. We're hoping it starts to taper off fairly quickly, but we're facing a pretty rough time.
Prince George's County, the school district, Friday became the first major school district to announce this extended system-wide shift back to remote learning.
Huge
which
mistake.
Is a big deal.
It's a big deal and a terrible mistake, and something we're very opposed to. We are duly elected school boards in these counties have the power to make those decisions. Unfortunately, I don't have that power as governor, but we're going to make it very clear that we think it's a mistake. We all want to keep our kids safe, but we've got protocols in place. There's 100 cases in Prince George's County out of 131,000 students. If there's a particular outbreak in a classroom or in a school, and you want to ramp up testing and make sure we keep those people safe by shutting down an entire school system of kids that have already struggled with distance learning for nearly a year, it's just outrageous and wrong.
What's your take on this federal appeals court ruling on the mandate for vaccines for businesses with more than 100? Where do you think it goes? What do you do with it?
I don't think it's going to stand. I think the courts are going to stop it from happening, and we've been able to, and we're one of the most vaccinated states in America. As I said, with 90.8% of everybody 18 and over is vaccinated in our state, and 99.9% of our seniors without mandates. Look, I'm focused on convincing people that this is a great way to keep yourself and your family and your neighbors safe, but mandates aren't working. They're sort of having the opposite effect, and people are digging in their heels and saying, you can't make me do it. We'd rather encourage people to go out and get vaccinated, and it seems to be working in our state. We're either the best or second best in nearly every category.
I want to talk about a couple other issues. One is crime. Baltimore now has had 7 consecutive years with more than 300 homicides. Just had a police officer ambushed Wednesday on life support, Kiana Holly. Some of your tough crime proposals have faced resistance in the Democratic majority state legislature. Baltimore City State Attorney Marilyn Mosby has called your renewed call to action a political stunt, asking how has he been unwilling to develop a long-term solution to address the root causes of crime in our city? Why is his only solution to crime more police and mandatory minimum sentences? You've been in office since January 15. How do you respond to that?
Well, I would say she's completely wrong, and she's a big part of the problem. So we have a prosecutor in Baltimore City that refuses to prosecute violent criminals, and that's at the root of the problem. But we've put massive amounts of we've invested over $1 billion into public safety in Baltimore City. I'm not the mayor, I'm not the prosecutor, but I have started a national refund the police initiative. Defunding the police is about the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Marilyn Mosby was in favor of that idea. We need more police. We need more investment. We've just invested another $150 million in the state and local police but I also have tough crime bills, which the leaders in Baltimore City have been opposed to, for tougher mandatory sentences for people that commit violent crimes and commit crimes with a gun. And the big problem is we passed it through our Senate. I have 70% Democrats. Our state House has refused to, and we're going to continue to put pressure on them. You know, we had 17 people shot on Friday in Baltimore City. It's out of control.
I've got 15 seconds. If former President Trump runs or he doesn't, are you considering running for president?
You know, I'm going to be governor until January of 23, and then I'm going to take a look at what the options are after that.
Do you think Republicans can win with former President Trump at the top of the ticket?
I think that'd be bad for the party, and you know, bad for President Trump and bad for the country. So I don't think he's going to run, and my advice would be that he did not run.
Governor Hogan, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, Brett.
Thanks a lot.